We all know the path, right? We all know the story. You grow up, you go to school, you graduate, you find a career, a job, and maybe you switch a few times here and there in your 20s while you figure things out. But eventually, and as soon as possible, you commit, right? You commit and you find that job that becomes your career, because that's what a responsible adult does, right? So you start your career and you continue on your career and you get better at your career and you work your career, and before you know it, years have passed. You're now in your 40s and 50s or beyond, and you suddenly realize, or you may stop ignoring the fact that this is the wrong career for you. You're just not happy and you need a change. And the idea of moving forward just feels impossible, or perhaps it is even impossible, period. But you're over 40, you're over 50, and you just can't start over. Can you? In this video, we'll talk about the truth of making a midlife career change, and about finding purpose, and about finding your true path in your 40s, 50s, and beyond. Hi, my name is Keisha Dent. I'm a certified hypnotherapist, and I want to talk to you today about what it really takes to change your career midlife in your 40s and 50s and beyond. If you are in your 40s or 50s and are knowing and feeling that you just aren't in the right career for you, if you are thinking of making a change, if you are desiring deeply to make a change, and if you need to make a change, but you're wondering if this is possible, you're wondering how this could be possible for you, then you're certainly not alone. If you're wanting to fulfill your life's purpose, but so much fear and questions come up whenever you think about it, then this video is for you. Let's talk about it. Our life on earth is precious. We are here for a short time, and we need to make the most of it. Now, I love astrology because it speaks so beautifully of energy and our experiences. And one thing that is so important is what we call in astrology the 6th house, the 10th house, and the midheaven. So these parts of your chart are things that speak to parts of our earthly existence, such as work, career, public reputation, authority. Things that, if we live a balanced and purposeful life, should be addressed and balanced, right? Being fulfilled in work and in career, I believe, is a vital part of a healthy and fulfilling and balanced human experience. And the truth is, society can often confuse, manipulate, and poison our experience. Change is an inevitable, unavoidable, natural force. But we're taught by society to avoid it, to fear it, to cling on to things, even when it's obvious that they're no longer useful to us. And we're taught also to feel shame and to feel guilt if we decide that we want change, that we want to actually bring something different in our life, if we actually want to go against the grain. And it's totally normal and very, very common to come to the realization that a change is needed. This is natural. And to me, this is actually what life is all about. If you are truly, truly engaging with life, you shouldn't be able to sleepwalk through it. Okay? So what is the average age of a midlife career change anyway? So studies actually show that roughly between the ages of about 36 and 40 or so is when a lot of people first may feel like they need a change, whether or not they actually pull the trigger and do it. And it's funny, like when we think of midlife, we often think of later than that, right? But again, like spirituality, astrology, they really have something to say about this that I think is absolutely spot on. So 36, the age of about 36 is actually often considered the very beginning of midlife. And in spiritual, metaphysical seasons of life, whenever we look at it through that context, there is often this point where we can be seen to be passing from the summer of our life into the autumn of our life. And in astrology as well, the time of our very late 30s to early 40s is also the time of some very, very interesting planetary transits, including the Uranus to Uranus opposition, the Neptune to Neptune square, the nodal return, nodal square, etc. And the beauty of these things, again, is that they symbolize and represent awakenings, wisdom, realizations, pressure, challenges, rebirths, energetic shifts that we feel at this age. Oftentimes, when we are entering the older, more mature era of our existence on the earth, is when we begin to unlock doors. That's when we begin to have realizations about the world, about ourselves, about our roles, about society, about people, about how the world works, about how earth works. This is power. This is knowledge. And whenever we have this power, this knowledge, it is natural to want to utilize that. We begin to shake up where we're at and begin to revisit, rethink about the paths that we're on. And most of us will feel these shifts. And many of us will feel this very strongly. And many of us are meant to act upon these shifts. Because guess what? The universe doesn't give an F about societal conditioning and whether or not it's proper for us to change at a certain age. The universe does not adhere to societal laws, to different things that we humans tend to cage ourselves with. The universe says if you are alive, if you have breath, you can do anything. Okay? You're still here. You still have use. You still are a part of the ecosystem. And your service, your joy, and your work are greatly desired and they are needed. So let's do it. Another question you may ask is, okay, well, what if I know what I don't want to do, but not so much what I do want to do? What do I do? What can I do? Now, this is interestingly where a lot of people can differ, right? For many of us, you know what you need to do, right? You've been thinking about it, you've been dreaming about it, and you just need to start or adjust to where you're going. So yes, do it. Listen to that. Do that. But for many of us, we don't know what to do. We just know what we don't want. And yes, knowing what we don't want is a great place to start. But what are some careers that are great for people over the age of 40 to start with? So first of all, do know that learning a new skill or a new job in any capacity will require what's called a growth mindset. We tend to become fixed in our ways of thinking as we age. And in order to learn, we have to accept that we don't know everything, that we, in fact, know very little, and we must be willing to be wrong all over again. So I, again, as someone who loves spirituality, as someone who takes great wisdom and leans on it heavily to navigate my path, in tarot, which I'm a huge fan of the tarot, there's a card called the Fool card. And just like that card is about embracing new paths, new beginnings, it also is about being willing to make mistakes, being willing to be empty so that new things can come in, including new wisdom, new knowledge, new skills. And it's about being willing to change everything that you know or thought that you know, think that you know about the world again. And fortunately, this is something that can be learned, right? You can do it on your own, or you can do it with someone such as a hypnotherapist and work on your mindset. It's also true that some of the best careers will be those that take less training time, right? So you can be up and running and earning sooner rather than later. And a lot of these can be things such as consulting work, things such as medical billing, coding, executive assistant work, personal assistant positions, things such as teaching, doing personal training, medical and dental and assistant jobs, just to name a few.
So how to handle a midlife career change? Firstly, take your time. Know that, like all decisions, there will be pros and consequences. And there is some level of risk, as there is in all things. But I personally believe that things that are most worth having will take some risk and will require letting go of things that are lesser, but may feel more comfortable. And it's also important to ensure that all things and people that you care about and that you've worked hard for and you value are taken care of. For example, it may be necessary to keep a job until you are ready to leave. And of course, that parameter will be met individually, completely up to you and your goals. And you may have to do that and not just leave cold turkey unless you have support. It's so important to remember that life is supposed to be juicy, right? It's supposed to feel good. There's supposed to be a good interchange that only you can define, a flow back and forth between risk and conservatism, between comfort and being a little afraid and a little scared. It's that dance between the two things that actually makes this ride worth it. And to know always and remember that change is an inevitable part of life. Change is natural. It's a part of this journey. And that change also can be worked with, danced with, moved with. And it doesn't have to be the same for everyone. Being someone who is 40, 50, or beyond, change and a change of career, a change of purpose, a change of life direction may not look like it used to when you were in your 20s or what it looks like for other people. It will look like what it has to look like for you. So part of change is also defining how you do it and defining what that means for you. Remember always that you are here to engage with life. You're not here to be held captive by it. You're here to have freedom and options and to feel your power, to experience your power. You're here to play with Earth, to play with its energy, and to create and uncreate matter, opportunities, and adventure. When you're able to use your most powerful tool, which is your mind, and not be imprisoned by it, you're going to be able to open up new opportunities for yourself. You're here to have a good relationship with your work, to feel actualized, to feel as though you belong here, you have power, you have agency, to feel valued, and to feel safe at work. And you're here to feel and be successful, happy, and fulfilled. Okay? So if this is something that sounds like you, and if you are looking for assistance into this new chapter of your life, I want to invite you to a free consultation with me. So you can find it to the link to sign up at newworldhypnosis.com and just put aside just a few minutes, just half an hour or so that we can discuss where you're at, where you are in your journey, and to work together to figure out exactly a way for you to navigate some things. And also, if it makes sense, how we can work together. Okay, so again, you can find that at newworldhypnosis.com. And thank you so much for your time and for watching this. And I want to remind you always that in order to change your life, you must first change yourself. Thank you so much. Again, my name is Keisha Dent. I'm a certified hypnotherapist, and I can't wait to talk to you again. Take care.